Hello guys, and welcome to the another video by Bobby Fischer and his opponent Abe Turner in 1956 New York Manhattan tournament, where Fischer won this tournament, but he lost this match against Turner, which was like American chess master, and he had a chess rating over 2400, and he played several times in the US Chess Championship, and he was best known as a blitz chess hustler, and was one of the few masters who had a winning record against Bobby Fischer. The games were when Fischer was 14, which was the same year Fischer won his first US championship. In fact, his last round draw with Turner in 1957 championship clinched first for the young Fischer. Turner was born in New York City, learning how to play chess in 1943 at the Naval Hospital while recovering from a shrapnel wound inflicted during World War II. It was said that Turner played chess mostly by grabbing a pawn and swapping pieces to reach an endgame. He frequented the Chess and Checkers Club of New York in Times Square next to the New Amsterdam Theatre, better known as the Flea House, where anyone could play chess for 10 cents an hour. Fischer also attended the club and was a student of Turner's. Turner placed second in the Manhattan Chess Club Championship on 5 occasions. He considered his best performance to be fourth place at the US Open at Long Beach, California in 1955, but tied for his first shortly after the San Diego. Turner was found stabbed to the death in the basement of an Upper West Side building where he had been working as a clerk for Al Horowitz for the magazine Chess Review. So interesting history, a little bit about the Abe Turner, which was only player in the world who had a winning record against Fischer, 2-0. And this game is from the tournament from 1956, and Fischer plays with black pieces, and Turner opens with the knight to f3, Fischer knight to f6, pawn to g3, g6, bishop to g2, bishop to g7, castles, both players castles, and Abe Turner starts improving his positions in the middle. d6, Fischer defends only one step at a time. No, so he plays with the black pieces a little bit defensive and wants to wait for his opponent to make a mistake, and so Abe goes for c4. Fischer plays knight to d7, knight c3, e5, e4, trade in the middle. So this leaves this pawn unprotected if he going to push that, but probably Abe is going to move his rook in this e file, and then Fischer plays knight to c5 and h3, rook to e8, rook to e1. Fischer pushes e5, queen to c2, pawn to c6, bishop to e4, knight f to d7, protecting adding another protector for this lonely knight. Rook to d1, Fischer pushes his a4 pawn, and f4. Queen to e5, putting pressure for this knight, and also this diagonal into the rook's position is like, well, in future he might attack. Then bishop to f2, defending the rook and saving it for the later use. Knight to b6, attacking the queen side, and bishop to f1, just making a little bit. He has already developed his pieces, so he just moving they in the base and let Fischer do the work for him. And another useful move to just get away from this diagonal behind to these pawns and defending them from behind, and also leaves this square for this knight to be used in later maybe. And then rook to e7, c4, rook a to e8, just adding another rook into this file here. f6, adding a defender for this rook, and f5, rook to f8, bishop to g3, knight to c8, queen to d2, queen to c7, and king to h1. So they are preparing and moving their pieces all around, and Fischer tried to attack queen side, but he couldn't make it through, so they now moved their pieces back to the middle fight, and this E rank is like going to be where the fight happens. But Abe says no, he wants to push his pawn to b4, and Fischer eliminates the pawn at b3 and trade. So this is now open file, and it might be useful for a later time. At least Abe can use the rooks at this diagonal much easier than Fischer, but the king is defended here on this square, so it's like the fight happens now more in this mid side. And Abe pushes b4, knight to d7, knight to f3, knight to e5, attacking the knight, and knight to e5, just capturing the knight and capture. So it opened the file for the d file is now open for the attack, but the queen is in first here, so it could be easy to defend with the rook. And rook e to goes e8, queen to d7, attacking the rook and offering a queen trade, and defending with the rook to a7 and queen back to d2, rook to e7 back, and queen back to d7, and rook to e7. So they are now repeating the moves, but this time Abe accepts the queen trade, and rook eliminates the another queen. Knight to a4, and rook to e8, and knight c5, just coming closer to position and taking off these useful squares from the black, and bishop to f8, just attacking the knight which is taking all these squares, and then knight to d7. This is kinda strategic move, attacking the bishop, attacking the pawn here, and also he has like square for retreating if needed. So bishop to e7, bishop to c5, and capturing the pawn here at the f5, capture, and bishop checking the white king, just capturing with pawn, rook to d7, c6, rook to d1, and captures with the check, queen to king goes to g7, and rook to d7. So white is starting to get the attacking role here. It's two bishops and a rook against rook, bishop, and knight, and black has one. Actually, it's like close to even. Bishop pair against the knight and bishop. Rook to c7, king to g5. Just getting out of the way if rook captures the knight at the c8, and rook captures, bishop captures, and attacking also the pawn from behind. If the king ever moves there, he could easily capture this and this. So Fischer pushes his e4 pawn, and Abe coming with his king to defend. h5, just attacking the pawn in the middle, and king needs to come back to defense. Capture, and bishop for defend this last pawn here. Rook rook to b8, just attacking the pawn. Bishop to d6, rook coming back to g8, and check. Abe does check with the bishop, and it's defended by this king. So only move king could make is h5, and then checkmate with the bishop here. So these all squares are reserved, and king is mated. So that's all about it. This was the only game which Fischer lost for the Abe Turner. Actually, Abe won another game also, but this was the first, I think the first one he lost in this tournament. But Fischer won this tournament with eight victories and 2 losses against Abe. And well, so this was a 1956 tournament from New York, and it was nice to bring this for you, and I hope we're going to see another video. Thank you, bye.